Good evening. You're watching the news on Croatian television. European Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker gave his State of the Union address ahead of today's plenary session in European Parliament. Juncker restated the 5 possible scenarios for the future of the Union presented in a white paper 4 months ago. He then offered a 6th, which he personally prefers. His scenario is based on preserving and strengthening core values such as freedom, equality, and the rule of law. He added that the EU must be equal for both Eastern and Western member states.
We need to strengthen our external borders, and we have good reason to do so. It's about time that Romania and Bulgaria be incorporated into the Schengen area. Croatia too. Croatia deserves to be a full-fledged member of the Schengen border area as soon as it meets the criteria.
Croatian member of European Parliament Tonino Picula and Croatia's former Foreign Minister Davor Ivo Stier called Juncker's speech good news for Croatia.
This is very good news, and we should be proud of our accomplishments. But this also means we need to take advantage of this chance and fulfill not only the technical requirements, but also the political criteria necessary for joining the Schengen area. Juncker's message was clear. As soon as Croatia meets the criteria, there will not be any political obstacles blocking our accession to the border regime. This is a very important message of support from the President of the European Commission at this time, especially in light of our ongoing issues with Slovenia.
Interior Minister Davor Božinović also expressed his satisfaction with the message, saying Croatia would be completely ready to join the borderless regime by next year.
Croatian police, as well as the Ministry of the Interior and all relevant institutions, will comply with all that is expected of us when it comes to fulfilling the technical preparations. Joining the Schengen area is a priority of this government, and we will do everything we can to achieve that goal.
Herman Gref, the CEO of Russia's state-owned Sberbank, released a statement saying his bank is launching legal proceedings against Agricor in order to recuperate more than €1 billion in debt. Gref said the bank was prepared for long-term litigation against the Croatian food and retail giant for what he calls an unprecedented fraud. The situation in Zadar and Nin, following Monday's catastrophic flooding, is slowly returning to normal. Electricity has been turned back on, and schools and hospitals are operating normally in Zadar. Unfortunately, schools and daycares in Nin remained closed, and the tap water has still not been approved for consumption. The Minister of the Sea, Transport and Infrastructure, Oleg Butković, and the Minister of Environment and Energy, Tomislav Ćorić, visited the area today.
First of all, there was a levee breach. According to the information I have, the water rose half a meter above the levee. Then there was a breach about 50 meters in length. The entire levee is 660 meters long, and in that context, it is worth noting that experts on the scene said that such a breach would have been nearly impossible to prevent. We are going to form commissions in cooperation with county road authorities, cities, and districts that will tally the damages and make a cost estimate for all of the affected roads in Zadar County. This is important because all of the cities and districts that have been affected by this catastrophe don't have sufficient finances to restore the roads to how they were before.
And roughly 3 days after the devastating floods, fire crews around Zadar County have been working day and night to pump water from homes and places of business.
We've got 120 pumps and crews working at the moment. Right now we are involved in around 250 operations around the city, but basically we have everything under control.
Health Minister Milan Kujundžić estimates that the damage to Zadar Hospital will be in the millions of euros. At the same time, Gabriela Žalac, the Minister of Regional Development and EU funds, said Croatia would apply for financial aid through the EU's Solidarity Fund for natural disasters.
I visited the Zadar hospital. Unfortunately, all operating rooms were flooded. The damage is definitely going to be in the millions, but I can't give an exact number. The good news is that the vast majority of medical equipment was untouched. We now have to wait for a precise estimate. Then the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Health will work together to resolve this issue.
The Minister of Construction and Spatial Planning announced that nearly 1,500 citizens have submitted requests for state-subsidized housing loans. The tender, he said, would remain open until the government-approved quota is filled.
We will not close this window until we receive 2,100 applications. This means that the tender will remain open for at least another 2 weeks. There is still time, so I advise citizens to visit their bank and inform themselves via our website and that of the State Real Estate Agency.
The SDP, Croatia's largest opposition party, continues to insist on the creation of a parliamentary committee tasked with investigating the near collapse of Agrokor. Outspoken MP Peja Grbin says citizens have the right to know exactly what went wrong within the region's largest private employer.
This is not directed specifically towards finding out exactly who was responsible for the mismanagement of Agrokor or any eventual illegality.